India retains the ICC Test Championship mace for the third successive year with 116 points. Team India maintains an 8-point lead over the second-place New Zealand. Captain Virat Kohli credits a lot of depth in the Indian team for the success. Kho-Kho Federation of India launches India's first franchise-based Kho-Kho League. The first edition of the Ultimate Kho-Kho League will feature 8 teams representing the country's regions. Rajasthan Royals and Royal Challengers Bangalore look to end their losing streak in their IPL match later today. A fourth straight loss for either team will most likely begin the further downslide for them. Kings 11 Punjab pull off a miraculous 14-run victory against Delhi Capitals in Mohali. Sam Curran claims the first hat-trick of the IPL Season 12. Delhi loses their last 7 wickets for just 8 runs. And Arsenal move to third spot in the English Premier League with a win over Newcastle United. Aaron Ramsey and Alexandre Lacazette strike either side of half-time. Let's begin with cricket news. And India have retained the ICC Test Championship mace and won a purse of $1 million for a third year running. This is after finishing at the top of the ICC Test team rankings on the cut-off date of April 1, while New Zealand ensured their second place.
India have secured the Test Championship title for a third successive year. Virat Kohli's team finished with 116 points, 8 points clear of New Zealand. India have retained the ICC Test Championship mace and won the purse of $1 million after finishing at the top of the ICC Test team rankings on the cut-off date of 1st April. A top place finish was never in doubt for India, captained by Virat Kohli, the #1 Test batsman in the world. This season has been memorable for India, which saw Virat Kohli's men winning its maiden series in Australia. The Kane Williamson-led New Zealand also had the satisfaction of seeing its captain get the ICC Spirit of Cricket Award 2018. They earned $5 lakh after finishing with 108 points. South Africa, who had finished second the previous 2 times, will now get a prize money of $2 lakh for finishing third with 105 points, while Australia, who edged out England on decimal point at 104 points, bags $1 lakh. Sports Desk, DD News.
And we have with us in the studio senior sports journalist Rakesh Rao to help us understand what this really means. 3 years in a row, Rakesh, does this mean that India is the best team in the world?
Well, if you only stick to the like numbers here, yes, it is. But then if you make a reality check, well, I'm not convinced, because see, a lot of these standings and rankings are there, and the rules are same for everybody. And if you come #1, yes, you are the #1 side in the world as per the rankings, yes. But then if you look at the reality, that is, we traveled to England, we traveled to South Africa in the last couple of years. What did we do there? I mean, it's not like if you are the best side, then you should appear to be a good side. You should be consistent. But yes, if you go by the parameters laid, Indians have done better than any other side. That is all there. But then, I've always felt that Indians are yet to prove themselves when they travel overseas. Yes. What they did in Australia was fantastic. But then let's not forget, these numbers will never show that Australia was not at its best side. They only had the best available names. I mean, they didn't have 2 of the best batsmen. They had a good attack, yes. But overall, it was not the side that a team would like to say that, okay, we went to Australia, we beat them. That's an historic win after years. Right. However, the numbers don't reflect that.
So is that also the reason why Australia came third? Because they were not at their top. And now with the 1-year ban on Steve Smith and David Warner, running out,
True.
Perhaps the team, is likely to improve?
Definitely, yes. I mean, because because Steve Smith is not likely to lead the side for another year, because he is under that, rider. But then the fact remains that the day they have a full strength team,
yes,
where they have a leader in place, you'll definitely see a different Australian side and a different set of results for them. But having said that, Indians are improving, no doubt about it. There's a lot of self-belief. But if you look at the test arena, I mean, I'm talking about all the teams put together. Even if you look at teams which are there, look at South Africa. South Africa losing to Sri Lanka at home, big surprise. If you look at like England going to Sri Lanka, losing there, big surprise. India going to Sri Lanka and beating Sri Lanka, no surprise. So what I'm trying to say is that a lot of these teams are inconsistent, and India is the least inconsistent team. Okay. That is why I'm saying. Otherwise, Indians have lost a lot of overseas series in the last 3 years. Still, we are number one. Teams come to India, and of course, India is a different quantity altogether. So we reap the harvest there. So overall, yes, if you look at it, I still feel that if you consider all the aspects, going by different parameters, Indians are topping the list. So let's give it to the Indians.
Sure.
That
we are looking at a number of pictures on our screen also of the New Zealand team, which has come in second. Is that also a bit of a surprise, one would say, because they really don't have that kind of batting except for Kane Williamson. They have a strong bowling lineup, but it's not very consistent as well. What are the reasons for New Zealand's rise?
See, because New Zealand has played a lot more at home. That is one biggest, because they know how to play at home. And, Indians are the only teams, India remains one team which goes to New Zealand. If you give them a full series, Indians struggle there. I don't think from the days of Sunil Gavaskar, where we won a series, we have ever gone there and won big time and looked impressive. Because New Zealand, no matter where they are in the rankings, at home, they are a very strong side. So New Zealand has been consistent, and this last 1 year, they got the opportunity to host a lot of teams. So they have hosted teams and won against them. That's why they're up there.
So, with Test cricket, it's a great thing to be the best Test team in the world, but the sport itself, it doesn't have too many takers in terms of fan following. The stadiums are empty. I don't know how many people, maybe they follow it through the day, here and there on their phones, just keeping up with the score, but how many people are really watching, every single ball that's being bowled in a Test match?
No longer. There was a time when people would, throng the stadium 5 days, all 3 sessions, you would watch every ball.
Right.
And this so-called ball-by-ball commentary was followed all over.
Right.
Those days are gone now. We will never get those days because now you have something else. During those days, there was nothing else. Now you have a T20 format, and cricket is being played across the globe. So what happens is that you have an option, and all these pictures are beamed live at home, so you don't have to make an effort to follow something, and all these things are now available on different apps on your smartphones. So accessibility has become easier. Nobody wants to go and watch a match 6 hours a day, 5 days on the trot. That means 30 hours of play and still no result.
No, but
nobody likes that.
Is Test cricket going to be is the sport? Is it likely to decline in the future? There already are so many more T20 games being played.
That's right,
the World Cup is a 50-over format that's going to happen very sure this year. Nobody really cares too much about Test cricket at the end of the day, except the cricketers who keep saying that, this is the best form of cricket. But, and the cricket lovers too, the real cricket lovers. Is it going to survive is the question that one asks. And that's perhaps the reason why, if you have just 3 teams at the top, perhaps who are playing regular Test cricket, and the other greats of the game, let's say the West Indies of the 80s and all that, are nowhere in the picture as far as Test cricket is concerned anymore.
Yeah. See, absolutely right. What we are doing here is we are looking at a scenario where Test cricket is on a serious decline, and efforts are being made to do something or the other. You are talking about, pink ball cricket, you are talking about, trying to do things, add-ons, you are just looking to make some kind of a value addition to make sure that the spectators return to the arena. That is not happening. If that is not happening, that means you're losing interest all over. It's very global sort of a thing. It's not just in one country or 2 countries, across the globe. Even in India, if you see India playing a match against a visiting team, whether it's Australia, whether it's Sri Lanka, people don't come to the venue. That is one serious issue here. However, if you say that Test cricket will die anytime soon, my answer is no. But this is the time for us to wake up and try to do things like, either you have there was a time when there was this idea from, like none other than, Sachin. He said, let's limit the number of overs for the second innings. Now that is not required.